Welcome everyone, my name is Fist Truck. This week we'll be doing something a little bit different. So I have a second channel called Fist Truck TV, link in the description. Long story short, a friend and I had a conversation over the course of about 2 videos on that channel about whether or not Elden Ring 2 or Bloodborne 2 should exist. Now, I thought it was a fun and interesting conversation to have, so what I did was take it and condense it down to 9 minutes rather than 60 minutes, and leave it open so that for anybody who feels a certain way about this can say something in the comments, and I'll try and respond to as many of them as I can. Nonetheless, once again, my name is Fist Truck, and today I bring to you, should Bloodborne 2 or Elden Ring 2 exist? But you know what does exist? The subscribe button. Click it.
Are they going to wrap that up? Like, if you have the ending to come out with Elden Ring 2 and then do DLCs or stuff?
I think that these games are always of the mindset of, hey, you know, let you figure it out, or let your... I think when it comes to the endings, it's like letting your imagination run wild. Because, you know, like Dark Souls was the,
Hush, little
Dark Souls was clearly never supposed to have a sequel. But, you know, like Namco had other ideas, because while... you know, Dark Souls Man was working, well, Dark Souls Man was working on Bloodborne. They just got like a different team within FromSoft to do Dark Souls 2, and that's why Dark Souls 2 is always seen as like the, you know, stepchild or some shit. Alright, motherfucker, get down here so I can beat your ass! Oh my god, yes! Yes, I got the child RNG!
Clap.
Dark Souls 2 was made by a B team. It was like done in a different engine, played differently than the rest. Like it was different.
Right.
And then Dark Souls 3 came out, and I don't think Miyazaki directed that one. I think he had a hand. He definitely had a hand in making it, and you know, Dark Souls 3 was awesome and whatnot. But also, I think Dark Souls 3, a lot of it was like fan service. You know, as opposed to what you could clearly tell with these games, even though like on a mechanical level, a lot of them will play the same. Like this shit is Dark Souls 4 as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to like the world and the setting and all that kind of stuff, they always like to move on to something different, because like Demon Souls and Dark Souls have nothing to do with each other, no matter what people try to pretend like.
I thought Demon Souls was like they needed to make something new because Demon Souls was a Sony IP.
No, Demon Souls. No, I think they had Demon Souls. Like, I don't think Sony. I don't know if well, maybe it is, because they did publish a remake, but it was a little funky because it was like Sony published Demon Souls in Japan, but then didn't do it over here. Oh, you motherfucker. Fucking bitch. Yeah, there, I said it. But yeah, like, just, I guess, to wrap up the sequel talk thing, because we didn't finish that, but, yeah, they never really they never made sequels to anything but Dark Souls. Because, and I think that's only because, yeah, Namco. I would wager. Namco. Because, clearly, you know, Miyazaki, the dude who's, like, kind of the, you know, the man behind all this shit, or, you know, at least the face of it. He's clearly, or at least just you could tell just based on the game release, I mean, dude clearly has a desire to not do the same thing over and over again. You know, like on I guess on like a location kind of thing, like because it was Demon Souls. It was Demon Souls, then Dark Souls. Which I guess is similar, you know, and that's like both the dark fantasy kind of thing, but you know, they didn't share locations, lore, no nothing. And I get the feeling that Dark Souls was a thing because Demon Souls was like the, you know, low budget effort, and with Dark Souls they kind of had the opportunity to, you know, they clearly had a much bigger budget behind it and probably realized what he meant to do the first time. And then afterwards, you know, he like the next game that came out to Dark Souls was Dark Souls 2, but the next game he did was Bloodborne, which, you know, once again didn't share any sort of locations, or in this case like themes or anything from Dark Souls aside from like a lot of animations and combat. then afterwards, the next game that I think he was like really, really behind, where, you know, where he was clearly like the main, you know, head on it. I don't think it was Dark Souls 3. I could be wrong, but it was Sekiro. Like,
Yeah,
you know, Sekiro, which once again, different in this case, like pretty much different combat, different settings, different everything. And then Elden Ring, which shares a lot with Dark Souls, but once again, location-wise and stuff, it's different.
Right.
So I doubt like there'll be a sequel to this. I would like to see DLC. They always do a really good job with DLC. Yeah, you just
Maybe
like either light in and like, oh, now the Age of Hollows or not, the Age of Man has begun, and like it's the same shit. It's the same shit.
Well, clearly it didn't happen because there's 2 and 3.
Well, yeah, that's why, you know, back on the subject of the last video, they never intended to make a sequel.
True. True, that makes sense.
That's why every time, like, I think the one that you always hear people talk about is like, yo, Bloodborne 2, Bloodborne 2. I'm like, yo, that's not gonna be a Bloodborne 2. I will be. Okay, you know what? Like,
Does there need?
Hopefully, I don't think so. I don't think so. I hope not. I love Bloodborne. I fucking love Bloodborne. I really hope there isn't a Bloodborne 2. Because I will say, like, I still no. I think Elden Ring is the best one now when it comes to like a consistent experience. But
yeah.
Dark Souls 3 is fucking great. I love Dark Souls 3. I love all of them. I love all of them. I love all of them. But there's something about like I feel like some of that like intrigue and mystery that was first brought into like brought in with Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 1 once again like has a story, has a lore, but it isn't really all that messy. At least when it comes to just the story and the game is not messy.
Right.
So Dark Souls 1 does that, and then it only got like worse. Like it only got way more muddied as time went on. Like Dark Souls 2 was a thing, and then Dark Souls 3 was also messy. Like at least when it came to the things they compounded on top of the original one's lore, it started getting messy. And then and the thing is that they were starting from clean. In my opinion,
Right.
if you make a Bloodborne 2, you're starting from crazy. So it's just gonna be a fucking mess. And like, I mean, I'm down to see like Bloodborne 8 like combat come back, but not in a Bloodborne 2.
I think if they make a Bloodborne 2, the only way, well, I mean, it doesn't matter with these type of games, but the only way it would make sense, like canonically, like story-wise, is if you went into a different Hunter's Dream. Like, the Hunter's Dream was created by a group of people, and, you know, the cursing of, like, the bad thing that happened in the Fisher Village.
Yeah.
But it's like, a Bloodborne could be one of those things where events like this happen often. Where, you know, you have different types of hunters, different sets of hunters and all that. That's the only way it would make sense. Like, oh, this is how the world is created, and this is a different world.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, it would. I still think altogether it should just be different, but you know,
but is it gameplay or is it the aesthetic? The
that people want or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say both. I'm gonna say both because people definitely, you know, like there's clearly an obsession. No. That's I don't wanna paint it like a negative light. Like there's a fascination with like all the, you know, Eldritch fucking H.P. Lovecraft stuff. Definitely, because you could see in like some of the other games that have come out since Bloodborne. But nonetheless, I think, you know, the combat in Bloodborne, I think it's a mixture of the two that people want back. Like they love the combination of the combat with the aesthetic. And I agree. I mean, I like it too. I really would just want the combat. I did like the aesthetic, but by the end of the game, I think I will say by the end of Bloodborne, I was like, okay, I'm good. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I know it's a little bit different. Next week, we'll be back with some more normal stuff. Anywho, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, or don't. And until next time, my name is Fist Truck. And until next time, again, don't forget to wipe before you shit.